Alrighty guys, so for Monday, we have a warm-up, an iso strength piece, a volume piece, and a conditioning piece. For our warm-up, you're going to be accumulating 3 minutes in a squat hold. It does not have to be 3 minutes in a row. You can do 30 seconds, have a 30-second break, you can do a minute, have a minute break, however you need to do to achieve 3 minutes in a squat hold. Once you've finished your 3 minutes, or you've accumulated your 3 minutes, you will then go into 10 Bulgarian split squats, each leg, and 10 glute bridges. From there, you're going to be going into your iso strength piece. This is where you're going to need those straps that you created with your Bunnings material. Today we're going to be focusing on your squat strength. So you're going to have 3 different levels. Each level, you're going to be performing 3 sets of 5-second max effort contractions. Level 1 is going to be in a lower squat or below parallel. Level 2 is going to be in a half squat or just slightly above parallel. And level 3 is going to be a high squat, or as we might know, a push or jerk dip position. If you do not have your straps, you will just be doing body weight, but you will be aiming for single leg. So, position 1 will be single leg down to a box. Position 2 will be add a cushion or a weight plate or something onto that box, squatting down single leg to that position, and position 3 will be making that height slightly higher again. Once you've gone through that, we're going to be hitting our volume. Now this is high intensity, high rep work. You're going to be working for 5 rounds, 1 minute on, 30 seconds rest. You're going to be performing max effort air squats. So no weight, just your body. However, with your air squat, we want to see no lockout at the knee. So it's literally going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. You do not need to stop. In your 30-second rest, however, it won't be a technical rest. You will be required to do some work. The work is going to be kneeling down on your ankles. What this is going to do is help to minimize the blood flow through your legs, which will then make your next set slightly harder, and slightly harder again. For our last piece, our conditioning piece, you're going to have 4 blocks. This is going to be our interval work. Block 1, you're going to be working for 60 seconds for all 4 exercises with no rest. Your exercises are burpees, table rows, air squats, and push-ups. However, if you do have your equipment at home and want to turn it into a weighted exercise or weighted workout, you will be performing burpees, bent over rows either with a barbell or a dumbbell, front squats either with your barbell or dumbbells, and push-ups. So you will perform 60 seconds of burpees straight into 60 seconds of rows, 60 seconds of squats, 60 seconds of push-up. That is block 1. Block 2, you cut down to 45 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. Block 3 is 30 and 30, and block 4 is 15 seconds of work and 45 seconds of rest. By the time you hit block 4, you should be pretty much at your peak. You should not have much more in the tank. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through what all of these movements are going to look like. For our 3-minute squat hold, you have 2 options. You can either air squat or squat down to a bench, depending on your ability levels. What this is going to look like is so in this squat hold, we want to see shoulders back, hips just below parallel, and eyes and chest up. If you're having trouble holding a normal squat hold, you can then just squat down and ever so slightly rest on the bench. Keeping nice and tight through here, straight back, shoulders and chest up. Once you've accumulated your 3-minute squat hold, you are then going to go into 10 split squats each leg. You're going to pop your foot up on the bench. Depending on stability level, height, length of legs, this is going to vary, but you want to shuffle that front foot forward to give you enough stability and balance. From there, you're going to lunge down, getting your knee as close to the ground as possible, and you're going to drive back up through that front foot. When you've done 10, you're going to swap legs, get your stability again, and drive back up. You've got 10 of these on each leg, and ideally we want to see 10 on one leg and then 10 on the other leg. Your second part of your warm-up is going to be your glute bridge. Hands are going to be flat on the floor. You're going to have your feet basically 30 centimeters away from your glutes. You're then going to drive those feet into the floor, and you're going to raise your glutes up off the ground, creating a straight back and squeezing those glutes as tight as possible. You're then going to lower back down to the ground and come back up. Okay, our first contraction for our iso strength piece is our full depth squat. Now today, as we ourselves do not have our iso straps yet, we are making do with resistance bands. So if you don't have your iso straps, but you have bands, please feel free to use them. We are going to show you the iso strap version and the bodyweight version for each level of contraction. Your first level of contraction is a full depth squat. So you're going to be down in a full depth squat. As your iso strap is going to be super tight around your back, you're going to be giving a 5-second max effort drive against that strap. Once you've done your 5-second max effort, you can relax. Our bodyweight version of this is our single leg squat to a flat bench. You're going to perform 5 squats on each leg. Driving through that foot on the ground, ensuring that you're sitting on the box. She's done 5 on one leg, now she's going to do her second leg. Our second level for our contractions is either a half squat or hips just slightly above parallel, or for our body weight piece, it's going to be going to the same bench but with a slightly higher level to hit. So a weight plate, a cushion, or something like that to ensure that level is higher. First of all, we're going to see our half squat or just above parallel. He's going to squat down, hold this contraction with max effort drive for 5 seconds, and then he's going to drive back up. He's going to be performing 3 efforts of that contraction with 20 seconds rest in between efforts. Our body weight version of this contraction looks like this. So same movement, driving through the foot, but just ensuring that level she's hitting is slightly higher to mimic the above parallel movement if you were using your iso straps. Our third position for our iso strength piece today is our jerk dip position. This is ideally the position you're going to find yourself in when performing a push press, push jerk, or split jerk. So, Neil is going to dip slightly in his legs with those knees driving out. He's going to hold this contraction for 5 seconds, driving max effort against the contraction. Our body weight movement for this is same as before, single leg squats, 5 on each leg, but just ensuring that level that you're hitting is higher again. Our next piece that we're going to be doing is our volume piece. This is going to be a high intensity but minimal skill effort piece. 1 minute on, 30 seconds off for 5 rounds. Air squats. With our air squats, we want to see no lockout at the knees. Ashley's going to be performing our RX level of squats, and Neil's going to be performing our modified level of squats. And now they're coming to the end of their minute. We can see them squatting. See how their knees are not locking out, they're staying nice and soft. 2, 1, minute's done. They're now into their 30 seconds rest. In their 30 seconds rest, They're going to be resting on their ankles. As you can see, Ashley's flexible enough to get all the way down to her ankles. Her head is still up, her shoulders are back. Neil, however, struggles with knee flexibility. So Neil's a little bit more up on his toes, hips a little bit higher raised. This is going to allow him to get the same feel as being down on his ankles, but this is his level for today. What this does is it minimizes blood flow through your legs, which will help build up the lactic acid faster. Next round is going to be harder and harder and harder. Our last component for today's workout is our conditioning. Our conditioning is an interval block, which is going to consist of 4 blocks of work. Block 1 is going to be 60 seconds of work with no rest before moving on to your next exercise. 1 minute rest after block 1. Block 2 is going to be 45 seconds of work with 15 seconds of rest before moving on to your next exercise. 1 minute rest after block 2. Block 3 is 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, 1 minute rest at the end of block 3, and block 4 is 15 seconds of work and 45 seconds of rest. Ideally, we want to see high, fast, super intense reps with ideally no rest in your working blocks. Our first movement for our block is burpees. Neil is going to be performing the RX version of a burpee, and Ashley is going to be performing the modified version of a burpee. 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, Neil is going down all the way down to the ground, whereas Ashley is just performing a half burpee. Our second movement for our block is either a bent over row with barbell or dumbbells or a table row. What you're going to see today is Neil performing a barbell row and Ashley performing a table row. Now with your table row, it is going to depend on your ability level, flexibility, strength as to the height of the table that you use. If you don't have a bench, I would suggest use your dining room table. It is a great substitute. Now we're going to see our bent over row. As you can see, Neil is hinged back at the hips. He's pulled his core in tight. He's driving his feet through the ground and he's pulling that bar up to his chest height with his elbows tracking backwards. Now we're going to move on to a table row from Ashley. As you can see, she is lying vertically under the table. The height of the bench today for her, she must have her feet on the ground. She's going to pull herself up to the table. Her chest is going to touch the top and she's going to lie back down. Our third exercise for our blocks today is either a front squat with a barbell or dumbbells or an air squat if you don't have any weight. What our front squat is going to look like is elbows up, chest up, barbell in a front rack position or dumbbells on your shoulders. Neil's going to perform a full squat, hitting depth, hips hitting below parallel. He's going to full lockout at the knees. Now what you're going to see is an air squat or non-weighted squat from Ashley. Exactly the same posture, head up, chest up, shoulders back, hitting below parallel, but just does not have any weight. Again, full lockout at the knees. If you struggle to hit depth in your squat, then I would suggest go to a box, a couch, anything that is going to allow you to hit a surface comfortably. Our fourth exercise and last exercise for our blocks are our push-ups. Now you can either do these push-ups on your toes or on your knees. What we want to ensure, whether you're on your toes or your knees, is chest touching the floor, hips staying off the floor, quads squeezed nice and tight, and driving those hands into the ground. What we're going to see is Neil performing push-ups on his toes. As you can see, his chest is on the floor, but his hips remain off the floor. He's driving through those toes, squeezing those glutes. Perfect. Now we're going to see Ashley performing the knee version of a push-up. What you will notice is from her knees to her shoulders, her position does not change from Neil's position on his toes. It is just your knees are acting like your toes. She's going to go down. As you can see, she's going to hold it there. Hold it. Her chest is on the floor. Her hips are off the floor. She's activated throughout her whole body. And push back up. They are your 4 exercises. Good luck.